Hey there, welcome to Thirsty Thursdays. Let's do a long review. So, this is an older one, at least the neck pour was older. Smoke Wagon, Uncut, Unfiltered, Straight Bourbon Whiskey out of Las Vegas. Sorry about that. Wasn't much of a pop, but I was also playing with this cork. But it's also not terrible. So I'm going to nose this and taste it. I'm not going to tell you anything about it yet. Then we're going to read the bottle, maybe look at the website, and then tell you what's up. Okay, Smoke Wagon. Aged and bottled by the Nevada H&C Distilling Company. I don't know what H&C stands for. Smoke Wagon Uncut Unfiltered Straight Bourbon Whiskey, Las Vegas. It's barrel strength. It's 57.14% alcohol by volume, so that would be 114.28 proof. Okay, so something to note about this in reading the bottle. Aged and bottled by them. That means they didn't distill it. So we'll have to try to look and see who distilled it. Let me look in the back. Aged and bottled. Straight bourbon whiskey. Not all barrels are created equal. Only the best, most flavorful barrels earn the right to show off their full potential. Enjoy this bourbon in its truest form, uncut and unfiltered, wild and untamed, not for the faint of heart. Distilled in Indiana. Do you know what that means? That means MGP. Or Ross and Squibb, or whatever you want to call them. So this was bottled in July 1st of 2023, batch number 185C. There is no age statement. They do have, so let's talk about the bottle now. I am a sucker for a cool bottle. So this bottle has embossing on it. I think that's what that's called, where it's raised. It's got like a shallower area where the gold leaf sticker is. And then they've got a coin, a mimic of a coin, centered in there. It says Smoke Wagon. Smoke Wagon. Oh, and it's got some Latin on it. It's on the website. I'll read it in a little bit. Then it's got two guns crossed over relief of the state of Nevada. And then it also has an H and a C, because it's the H&C Distilling Company. What's around it? It's got something around it too. Hold on. Las Vegas, Nevada H&C Distilling Company. Las Vegas. Las Vegas, Nevada. Okay. Anything else I need to tell you? Government warning and barcode. Just a plain wooden top on top of the cork. A couple of guns there. It's a neat bottle. I'm a sucker for a neat bottle and a good story. Let's go ahead and talk about their story. So I'm not going to read their whole story, and they kind of do it as like a conversation between the two owners. But they got together. It sounds like they were, let's see. So they met at a place called Eagle Rock in Los Angeles. They got to talking, and they started a bar. Started a bar called the Griffin. I don't know where the Griffin's at. We'll look in a moment. And then they decided that their love of bourbon and vodka was moving them to want to open a distillery. So they opened up in Las Vegas. Apparently it was the first distillery the city had. They had to create a license for them because they didn't have that before. Then apparently while they were in process, the state changed a bunch of laws and they had to start from scratch. And they had some crazy distilling equipment. Maybe wasn't very standard. So that's their story. Let's click on story of the bottles. So raised imagery of desert sage. So they've got desert sage on the raised part. I don't know if that's embossed. I don't know if that's the right word. Please feel free to correct me. And if future Izzo is thinking, he'll put it in the down, here. So it's got sage on it. Okay. I don't see the sage on this silver dollar replica. The Morgan silver dollar, replicated on the bottle's face, was minted in Carson City, the state capital of Nevada, so that's kind of cool. Perfect symbol and name for our vodka due to its significance and the fact that silver dollar vodka is silver filtered. Okay, cool. Smoke Wagon, does that mean it's smoky? It's not smoky. Spoiler alert. So Smoke Wagon is Old West slang for the 1873 Colt single-action army revolver, or the gun that won the West. That's kind of cool. Logo stamped in wax consists of 2 crossed smoke wagons over the state of Nevada. Yep. Okay, then here's the motto. Below it is the motto and a quote from Seneca. Bibimus moriendum est. The literal translation is drink for me, we must die. But the meaning is more along the lines of drink and enjoy today because we won't be around forever. Izzo's going to be around forever. Email me if you want to know more. We can only assume Seneca meant to drink responsibly, of course. Okay. And please drink responsibly. Alright, neat. $76.99 is retail in Ohio. So that's not bad for a uncut, unfiltered cast strength. Alright, so finally we'll go in. We did our first nose and taste. I didn't tell you any notes, I just wanted to get used to the whiskey. Definitely, the sweet notes are foremost. Predominantly vanilla with a little bit of caramel in the background. But it definitely has a spicy aspect to it, but I'm not having an easy time. Well, and on my neck pour, I said cloves, cherry, and oak. I'm not really getting the cherry this time. I can totally get the cloves, though. Caramel, vanilla, maybe there is a little bit of red fruit, a little bit of cherry, but if it is, it's a sweeter cherry. It's not maraschino sweet. It's more like maybe Luxardo sweet. Or even, I would even say not a real fruit at all, or not a syrupy fruit. Maybe like a cherry Jolly Rancher. Like a fake candy cherry. But it's real light, mostly caramel and vanilla. And the cloves hanging out. I don't really get any oak. Maybe that's an old Izzo note. Alright, let's see what the palate's like. So, mostly caramel and cinnamon on the palate. But when I would breathe in, when I would chew the whiskey, which is I think a wine tasting term, when I would chew the whiskey, bring in that air through my lips, it would turn to chocolate. Like a Swiss Miss hot cocoa kind of chocolate. No marshmallows. So that was kind of neat. The cloves come back on the finish. Finish is medium. It's not long. That's a nice pour. It's been a minute since I had some of this. And I've got Uncut, Unfiltered. I've got Uncut the Younger, which I'm not sure what that is. Maybe I'll try to do that next week, and we'll have 2 weeks of Smoke Wagon or something. So that's pretty tasty. All right, I'm gonna glance and see if they have any tasting notes anywhere. Okay, so some of the other ones that they have, it's not scrolling very nice. Alright, fine, let's go to our brands. So we've got Smoke Wagon Straight Bourbon, Smoke Wagon Small Batch, Uncut Unfiltered, Smoke Wagon Desert Colt Bourbon. Okay, I'm wondering if... Oops. Okay, I think what they're calling Desert Colt is what they used to call Smoke Wagon Uncut the Younger, because the label looks nearly identical. Yeah, so they're calling it Desert Colt, and that makes sense. Uncut the Younger, Desert Colt. The colt is a young horse. I know I'm Captain Obvious here, but that's all right. Okay, so it looks like they've got 4 different expressions of bourbon, and I've got 2 of them. So I'll have to collect the other ones at some point. Let's see what they're like. But of course, the 2 I bought were the cast strength. So, in theory, the 2 I bought will be a little more complex than the bourbon and the small batch. Okay, second official nosing. Nothing new on the nose, but it's very good. Second palate, Again, when I would introduce air, got a little bit of chocolate, mostly caramel and cinnamon. I would get a hint of cherry every now and then too. So the cherry actually came through from my neck pour video. Medium finish, it's like borderline in between medium and long, but it's I'm gonna just leave it at medium. It's definitely already a little more complex than when I did my little nose and taste before we went over the bottle and the website. So even in just the time it's been open to the air in the glass, so it's had some time to oxidize in the bottle, but it's also had a bit of it's got a bit of change in the glass even from the first nosing, because the first nosing it actually smelled kind of light and kind of young, a little alcohol forward instead of flavor forward, but it calmed down immensely in the time it took me to read the bottle and look at the website a little bit. So aged in Vegas, so it's warm there most of the time. It's in the desert, so it should age a little faster in a hot climate like that, depending on how they stored it. I don't know how they stored it. Because and you know, I mean, depending on the climate, things can change. Things can change. I believe it's when the whiskey goes below 40 degrees in a barrel, it stops like going in and out of the pores. So when things are hotter all the time, the whiskey's going to be more active with the oak, and it'll age a little faster. It'll bring on flavors and other things, characteristics, quicker if it's hot all the time. At least that's how I understand it. Please feel free to correct me in the description, in the comments if I'm wrong. Was there an age statement? I don't remember. I don't think there was. So I remember so the neck pour, I seemed to like it okay. I remembered a couple of pours after the neck pour, wasn't super thrilled with it. But I'm definitely appreciating it now. It's been months since I had a sample of this. You can add cloves to this. Oh, I had that on the neck pour. You can add cloves to this. On this nosing. Caramel, very light cherry. Cherry Jolly Rancher. A little bit of vanilla cloves. Nothing new on that one. Okay, but it's a very good pour, so it's a nice balance of the sweet and the spicy. It's definitely one you can drink neat, and you can sit there and pull notes out of it. That's the way I like to enjoy the whiskey. $77 basically, plus tax. I'd say at that price it's worth it. I wouldn't overpay for this, so I don't know what it is in your market. I'd shoot for that 76 bucks. 76, $77. I would try not to go over that. But at the same time, 77 for a cask strength, and if the 115 is a little extreme for you, you just add water. And then the great part about that is then your whiskey lasts a little bit longer. So add some water or put it over ice. It might calm it down for you a little bit as it goes. I think that's all I got for this one. Thank you so much for hanging out at Izzo's place. And if you're working, work safely. If you're drinking whiskey, please drink responsibly. But do everything with a little bit of whimsy, and you're going to have a good time. And I'll see you next time you're hanging out at Izzo's place. Oh, you're twisty. Are you still recording?